Hey everybody. What we're going to do for grammar today is we're going to talk about part one real fast of the noun sheet from yesterday, and then we're going to get into parts two and three. So if you want to look at my screen real quick as I do this, I'm going to look at part one really fast. I'm not going to go over all the different answers because it's obviously your different answers. But what we're supposed to do here is go through and put a common noun version of person, places, things. Again, so I don't want to go through a bunch of these, but for a common noun for a person, you can't have anybody's name, but you could put like kid or child or student, something like that. And the same thing for places and things. You could put school. You could put for thing pencil. The proper noun column, on the other hand, is where if you did it right, you're supposed to take the common noun and then give me a proper noun version. So the example that I gave on Google Classroom was if you put student here, think of a name like Billy that could be a proper noun for that student. If you went ahead and had over here student and then for proper noun you put Kentucky, I can understand. But really it should go all the way across because it should be a person proper noun at minimum. Just like all the rest of these, this should be a place proper noun and these should be thing proper nouns, which are the hard ones to do. Okay. If you for thing put, we talked about religion, like if you put religion was a thing and then over here you put Christianity. That would be a good example, even though that one's kind of tricky. Okay, that's all part one. So hopefully by now you've submitted me your part one. I said you could do it via email. You could literally take a picture of your paper. You could share Google Doc with me. But we're going to go ahead now because our focus for today is talking about getting started on exercises two and three, or parts two and three, I should say. Okay, this is going to get into not just common and proper anymore, but singular and plural. Okay, and singular and plural is pretty easy until you get to possessive. Okay, now let's talk about part two first. Part two says write 10 common nouns related to a classroom, and then write the correct plural form of that noun. And I mean next to it. So number one does not go with number six. Number two does not go with number seven. So let's just do one really fast. A common noun related to a classroom. Okay, so for number one, let's say, desk, like I have here. And then it says write the correct plural form. So in that same space next to number one, the plural form, like more than one desk, is desks. Okay, so you could put student and students and on down the line. The only tricky part is if it changes the spelling, and sometimes you have to watch for that. Okay, so if you pick a word that when it goes from singular to plural does not become just adding an S on the end, then you got to watch for it. Okay, so that's part two. Common noun, and then you can put a comma or a dash in between, and then put the plural form. All right, now part three is going to be a little tricky, and in fact, probably Monday or whenever we go over this, we'll go over some of the answers in short, but you're going to take these 10 words that I've already given you, and we're going to put them in the correct singular or plural possessive form. Now, if we were in the class, obviously we'd spend a lot of time on this, but obviously since we're doing this online, I'll just tell you a few pieces that are kind of tricks of the trade. All right. So first thing you need to do for every one of these is look in the parentheses and see if that word is going to be singular or plural, first of all, because that's always the first step, okay? For the word player right here, it says it's going to be singular. So for right now, we're going to keep it the same. So even on your paper, you could write the word player. Now we have to make it possessive. And possessive is where you show ownership. Okay, so now we're talking apostrophe S or S apostrophe. So if it was Bob's pencil, you would say Bob apostrophe S pencil. Okay, so the easiest way to do this is, again, look for singular or plural first, and that's going to change your possession. So for instance, with player, player is going to stay player, and then to make it possessive, you're going to add apostrophe S. Now, if we look at number two, the word runner, to become plural, you simply change it, first of all, to runners. And now to make it possessive, you add an apostrophe just at the end. Okay. Now, there are some tricky ones on here. There are some tricky ones because to make some of these words plural, you have to change the spelling. But again, if it's singular, keep the word the same and add an apostrophe S. If it's plural, do the plural part first. Make it plural, make it its plural form first, and then add an apostrophe. Now, in certain words, can you have S apostrophe S? Yes, you can. But again, if you split it in two, like I'm telling you, do the singular or plural part first. So either keep the word the same or change it to plural first. And then again, to make it possessive, apostrophe S or S apostrophe. Okay, so this is your assignment for today. Again, like the one before, if you're printing this thing out and you just want to send me a picture of your answers, if you're writing it on notebook paper and you want to email me a picture of your answers, or if you simply want to type your answers in a Google document and share it with me, those are all fine. Obviously, you guys don't want to type all of your answers into the comment section for a lot of different reasons. Okay, so again, this is part 2 and 3. And we'll probably go over some of the answers, but clearly not all of them the next time I talk to you because we're going to have more stuff to talk about. All right. Good luck and hope everybody's staying safe.